The year started with lies, and you led it. You said this would be your year. Again. You whispered it to yourself at midnight, glass raised, fake smile, trying to drown the stench of another wasted 12 months. You screamed it into the void of January. This is my time. But here we are, again, and you're still lying, still soft, still hiding behind resolutions instead of war plans, still sleeping in when the battlefield of your life is begging for blood, still blaming everything but the one thing that's really responsible, the coward in your mirror. Yeah, I said it. That face, that mask, that fraud looking back at you every damn morning. That's your enemy, not the economy, not your boss, not your childhood. It's you, the soft, scared, sleepy-eyed version of you that keeps talking about potential like it's a birthright. You treat discipline like it's a feeling, like it's supposed to come dressed in motivation and music. But discipline is a funeral march, motherfucker. It's burying the weak you every single day. It's showing up when your mind is breaking, when your spirit is fractured, when your heart is gasping for air. It's dragging yourself forward with your fingernails if you have to, and smiling while it hurts. You made promises in January, big ones, loud ones. You posted them, you told your friends, you journaled them like they were sacred scripture. But then February came, and March, and life did what life does, punched you in the mouth, and you folded again. You got tired, and you mistook that for a reason to stop. You got bored, and you called it burnout. You let the same demons rent space in your head for free, and you wondered why your soul felt bankrupt. You never needed more time. You never needed more motivation. You needed confrontation. You needed that raw, unfiltered mirror moment, that 1 second where you stand. But still, look yourself dead in the eyes and say, I'm the problem, and I'm the thing cure. You want to know why you keep losing? Because you keep treating your life like a hobby. You dabble in your dreams like they're weekend projects. But this isn't a fucking hobby. This is war. This is life or death. The death of the man you swore you'd never become. And guess what? You're becoming him. Soft hands, soft habits, soft words. You talk about goals like you talk about fairy tales. You fantasize about a version of you that doesn't exist because you won't bleed for him. You won't starve for him. You won't claw through hell with broken bones and a throat full of failure for him. You think balance is the goal? Fuck balance. Balance is for people who aren't on fire. Balance is for the average. And average is where dreams go to rot. You were supposed to be different this year. You swore it, you shouted it, but you let the leash slip again. You let comfort pull you back into its coffin. You let your excuses become your gospel. You let your reflection become a stranger you fear instead of a soldier you trust. And I get it. Life's been brutal. It knocked you out. But that ain't the problem. Getting hit is part of the game. The problem is you never got back up swinging. You curled up, you made excuses, you decorated your rock bottom and started calling it home. Wake the fuck up. This year is a fork in the road. Right now, this minute, you either break or you build. You either become the executioner of your old self or the undertaker of your dreams. It's you versus you. Always has been. And right now, the weaker you is winning. The undisciplined you is driving the ship. The version of you that runs from pain, that talks big and folds fast, that one is in control. And he's taking you straight into a grave called mediocrity. So here's your wake-up call. Not with glitter, not with hype, with fire, with truth, with a mirror that doesn't lie. You let this year start with lies. You let weakness run the playbook. You handed the knife to your demons and asked them to cut you, and they did, and you let them. But now, right fucking now, you can take it back. Not tomorrow, not next Monday, now. Because if you don't, if you keep playing soft, if you keep making peace with mediocrity, if you keep negotiating with the weaker voice inside you, you'll die unfinished, buried under a pile of could-have-beens and almosts. This is the year of reckoning, not dreaming, not talking, executing. So get in front of that mirror, rip off the fucking mask, and make one promise you'll actually keep. I kill the old me today, or he kills everything I ever wanted. Your excuses wear your face. You keep talking about demons like they're chasing you, like you're a victim, like something out there is hunting you, stalking you, tearing at your peace. But here's the truth. You're not haunted by your demons. They are you. They wear your face. They speak with your voice. They know your weaknesses because they were born from them. You don't have to look over your shoulder, that you need to look in the fucking mirror. That's the assassin. That's the liar. That's the one who keeps poisoning your future with the same old soft story about why you can't, why it's too hard, why your pain is special. You act like your excuses come from somewhere else,
but they live in your bones. They sit at your table. They sleep in your bed. They know every inch of your soul because they are you. You hear them, don't you? In the silence, in those 3 a.m. breakdowns, in the quiet moments when you almost change. They whisper like old friends, "It's okay, man. You've been through a lot. Take a break, you've earned it. No one else understands what you've dealt with." But those voices aren't comforting you. They're killing you. They're parasites. They're feeding off the corpse of who you could have been. Every time you listen, they grow stronger. Every time you bend, they dig in deeper. Every time you say, "Not today," they feast on your dreams like vultures on a dead king. You keep telling yourself your circumstances are different, that no one gets it, that no one's walked your pain. But that's not truth. That's your ego doing push-ups in the dark. That's your pride wrapping your pain in chains so you can't move. You tell yourself no one understands, so you don't have to evolve, so you can stay broken, stay small, stay in your tragic little narrative where quitting looks low.
Like survival. But here's the savage truth.
Your pain is not unique. Your war is not special, and your excuses are not valid. They're just louder than your purpose right now. But purpose doesn't scream. Purpose whispers through discipline. Purpose shows up in silence, while your excuses are performing a damn Broadway musical in your head. You think you need motivation? Fuck that. You need confrontation. You need to rip the mask off and see that the monster is wearing your reflection. You need to sit in a dark room with the weak version of you and say, "I see you. I've fed you. I've protected you, but I'm done." Because this right here, this inner war, it's not about obstacles. It's not about the world. It's about identity. You either become the man who kills his excuses daily, or you become the man who dies by them quietly. You're not stuck because of your past. You're stuck because you won't shut up the liar inside you. You give him airtime. You let him tell stories. You let him speak on your behalf to the world. "I'm tired. I'm overwhelmed. I'm just trying my best." But that ain't your best. That's your excuse in a nice suit. Let's get real. You're afraid to admit that you are the one who gave up, afraid to own that you've been faking effort, afraid to say out loud, "I didn't go all in." Because if you admit that, then you have no one left to blame. And that's terrifying, because then it's on you to fix it. It's on you to resurrect the man you buried with your excuses. It's on you to become the grave robber of your own potential. You want freedom? You want power? Then take your excuses to war. Line them up. Face every single one. Every voice that says you're not ready. Every whisper that says you're broken. Every comfort that calls you back to the coffin, and tell them, "Not today, not anymore, not ever again." Because if you don't, if you keep petting your pain like it's your pet, if you keep hugging your trauma like it's your identity, if you keep listening to the voices that have done nothing but burn bridges and build coffins, then you deserve what you get. I know that hurts, but I'm not here to soothe you. I'm here to save what's left of you. If anything's left at all, you keep waiting for motivation. You keep waiting for signs. Here's your fucking sign. Your excuses wear your face, and they are planning your funeral. So kill them, burn them, starve them with ruthless action, because they will not stop. They will not disappear. They will not get quieter. They will evolve with you. The stronger you get, the more clever they become. But you don't beat them by getting loud. You beat them by getting real, by becoming undeniable, by showing up in the dark, in the silence, in the cold, and doing the damn work anyway. Your excuses aren't monsters. They're habits. They're moments of weakness you keep turning into laws, but they don't own you, not unless you let them. So here it is, your final warning. If you keep letting the liar live inside you, if you keep giving your excuses a home, you will die unfinished, buried next to the truth that could have saved you. But if you want to live, really live, then today is execution day, and your excuses are first in line. The world owes you nothing, and never did. No one's coming, no one's watching, no one fucking cares if you fold. Not really. Not in the way you keep pretending they do. You fall, the world keeps spinning, you quit, the sun still rises, you give up on yourself, and life won't pause to grieve it. You've been walking around like life owes you something, like someone's supposed to show up and drag you to greatness. But no one's coming to fix it. Not your friends, not your family, not your coach, and sure as hell not the universe. You're on your own. Always have been. The sooner you face that, the faster you fucking rise. You think the world owes you something because you suffered, because you didn't ask for this pain, because your childhood was chaos and your parents passed down trauma like a family recipe? Guess what? So did everyone else. You're not the only one handed a bloody legacy. You're not the only one raised in noise and told to stay quiet. You're not the only one who was lied to, but you might be the only one still crying about it. You've been carrying that hand-me-down victimhood like it's armor, like it protects you, but all it's doing is slowing you down. All it's doing is turning your pain into permission to stay soft, stay scared, stay unfinished. You were taught to wait for the moment, to wait for clarity, to wait until you felt ready, but clarity doesn't come. Conquest does. You don't wait for the right time, you make it. You carve it out of stone with your bare hands and busted knuckles. You fight for it like a starving wolf. Because every second you wait for the right time, another part of you dies. You keep thinking someone's going to notice your pain, that someone's going to see your effort and reward it. But this ain't a fucking movie. There's no dramatic moment. There's no
Crowd, no applause, just you, bleeding in silence. And the question, will you keep going when no one sees it? Because that's where the real ones are made, in the dark, in the quiet, in the days when it feels like you're lifting the world and no one's even looking. That's the forge, that's the crucible. And if you quit there, you don't deserve the crown. You keep talking about feeling lost, like you're waiting for some divine sign to tell you you're ready. But if you're still breathing, you're still dangerous. Act like it. Stop waiting. Start becoming. This ain't about balance. This is obsession. This is waking up at 3 a.m. because there's fire in your chest and unfinished business in your blood. This is building discipline like a religion and praying with your scars. Entitlement is the softest form of self-sabotage. It whispers, you deserve more. But the truth is, you don't deserve SHIT. Not yet. You haven't bled enough. You haven't broken enough. You haven't buried the version of you that keeps negotiating with excuses and calling it self-care. So let's strip it all down. No one owes you healing. No one owes you understanding. No one owes you a second chance. And the world sure as hell doesn't owe you comfort just because you finally decided to show up. You earn your redemption in pain. You earn it in the repetition. In the mornings where your bones scream, but your will screams louder. In the nights where the only light is the fire you refuse to let die. You think your story is over because it hurts right now, because you failed last year, because no one believes in you. Good. That's the perfect place to start. Because when no one's clapping, when no one's calling, when the world has written you off, that's when the real you shows up. You were never built to be saved. You were built to survive, to endure, to rise, to dominate, to take the ST they threw at you and turn it into stone beneath your boots. You keep waking up in chains. You keep feeling trapped, stuck, cornered, begging for a way out. But let me say it straight. You built this prison, brick by brick. You did this. Every excuse, every skipped rep, every I'll do it tomorrow, every time you picked comfort over conquest. That was you laying another brick, and now the walls are high, the light's gone, and you're choking on your own silence, wondering how the hell you ended up here. But your shadow knows. The voice you keep trying to drown out, it remembers. It whispers late at night when the world's quiet and the mask falls off. You did this. Not your boss, not your parents, not society. You. You chose the easier path 1,000 fucking times. You knew what it cost, but you did it anyway. You compromised with weakness. You shook hands with laziness. You invited failure to dinner and called it balance. And now you're trapped inside a cell that has your fingerprints all over it. Your comfort? That's your cage. The softness you worship is the steel around your potential. Every time you hit snooze, you added another bar to the window. Every time you skipped the gym, every time you ghosted on your purpose, every time you made peace with pain instead of going to war with it, you stacked another stone. You are both the prisoner and the fucking warden. You want to know why it feels like you can't breathe? Because you locked yourself inside mediocrity and threw away the key. Then you blamed the world for your suffocation. You want to know why you're angry all the time? Because deep down you know, you did this. And I know that hurts. It should. It has to. Pain is the only language your soul understands when it's time to rebuild. You don't get to escape a prison you still deny building. You want freedom? Then get your hands bloody. Start ripping down the life you built for your fears, and build one for your fire. But first, you gotta own it. Own the fact that you traded progress for peace.
that you chose to coast when you should have clawed, that you became a master of delay, a professional in avoidance, an artist in sabotage. You didn't fall into this cell. You designed it. Piece by piece, decision by decision, lie by lie, all to protect your ego, all to avoid the pain of becoming the version of you that doesn't flinch. You think it's just discipline you lack? No, you lack war. You lack that daily ritual of self-destruction, the one that burns down the old you, so the real one can rise from the ashes. You keep looking for a savior, a sign, a moment of magic. There is none. There's only the grind, only the suffering, only the 4 a.m. wake-ups, the double sessions, the isolation, the cold showers, the silence, the screaming inside your skull when the weaker you begs to quit and you bury him deeper. You want out? Then tear it down. Brick by brick, the same way you built it. Only this time you build in reverse. You dismantle the lies. You destroy the habits. You pull the comfort out of your bed and set it on fire. You stop blaming the walls and you start punching through them. This isn't a motivational story. It's a fucking jailbreak, and no one's coming to bust you out. You're on your own, with your regrets, with your shame, with your broken promises and fractured identity, and that's your advantage. Because once you hit that level of ownership, you become unstoppable. Nothing the world throws at you can match what you've already done to yourself. No judgment, no failure, no setback. Because you've already lived in your own hell, and now you're coming out swinging. But hear this. This isn't about redemption. It's about revenge. Revenge against every version of you that said, I'll do it tomorrow. Revenge against the weaker voice that convinced you mediocrity was mercy. Revenge against the comfort that smiled while it buried you alive. You built this prison, but you're still breathing, which means you're still dangerous, which means you can still destroy it, but you have to choose. Right fucking now. Do you keep living in a cage you designed, or do you burn it down with your bare hands? This is your war, your reckoning, your final wake-up call before the door locks for good. The comfort you crave is the cage you sleep in. Now get the fuck out. The war you hide from is inside you. The enemy has your eyes, your smile, your voice. You keep looking for a villain outside you, but it's the mirror that holds the truth. You are your own executioner. You are the ghost that haunts your progress. You are the one keeping the door locked and calling it fate. You've been hiding behind excuses, behind distractions, behind fake peace. But the war hasn't stopped just because you closed your eyes. It's inside you. It's always been. Procrastination ain't laziness. It's self-betrayal. Lust ain't pleasure. It's self-destruction. Doubt ain't humility. It's mental treason. Fear isn't protection. It's the assassin with your fingerprints on the blade. The demon never knocks. He slides in through your thoughts. He uses your tongue to justify mediocrity. He uses your heartbeat to fuel hesitation. He doesn't wear red. He wears your face. You know exactly what I'm talking about. That moment you're about to do the hard thing, and you pull back. That second you wake up early, but you stay in bed. That flash where discipline could have saved your life, but you choose distraction. And then you pretend the war isn't raging. Let me tell you something, raw and unfiltered. There is no savior coming. There's no rescue helicopter. There's no movie moment where someone shows up and fights your demons for you. It's just you, dragging your weakness into battle, bleeding through your own resistance, clawing your way through the mental fog you built with your own hands. You want to get free? Then stop acting like you didn't build the chains. Stop waiting for motivation to walk in like a hero. Stop looking for inspiration when what you need is confrontation. Because the truth is brutal. You've let the enemy live inside you rent-free. You've hosted it, fed it, excused it. You've called it just being human. You've labeled it rest. But deep down, it's the war you're too afraid to fight. It's that sick voice that says, you've done enough, when you haven't done anything yet. Your breakdowns, they're not weakness, they're suppressed warfare. Your depression, that's guilt buried under silence. Your fatigue, that's the weight of 1,000 unlived days pressing down on your spine. You've become numb to the war, but numb doesn't mean safe. It just means you stopped caring, and that should terrify you. Because when you stop feeling the fire, that's when the fire starts consuming you. You've forgotten what it means to be dangerous, not to the world, to yourself. You've forgotten how to corner your own cowardice and make it scream, how to force your discipline to rise through tears, how to stare in the mirror and not look away, not blink, not flinch, just stare until the truth boils. You were born with a warrior's soul, but you buried it under comfort, under shame, under lies that felt safer than truth. You traded greatness for peace, but you never got peace. You got sedation, you got stillness that feels like rot, you got silence that echoes
with everything you could have been. So hear me now, like it's the last voice you'll ever hear.
You are the battlefield. You are the enemy. You are the weapon. You are the war. This fight isn't outside you. It's not your job. It's not your bank account. It's not your ex. It's not the government. It's not the past. It's you, the part of you that knows better and stays silent, the part that dreams big but acts small, the part that talks about healing but avoids the pain. That version of you has to die. Today, not tomorrow, not when you're ready, because ready doesn't exist. Only willing does. Only obsessed does. Only burning does. You gotta declare war on everything inside you that's soft. You gotta call out the coward you've let lead you. You gotta kill your comfort before it kills your calling. There is a version of you that's been screaming from the cage, a savage, a leader, a soul forged in torment and baptized in rage, but you've kept him locked behind politeness and fear. Unlock the cage. Let him out. Let the fire speak. Let the rage breathe. Let the broken pieces scream their truth. This war is personal. This war is holy. This war is between who you are and who you were born to become. So draw the line in your own soul. Stand in front of the mirror tonight. Look that enemy in the eyes and say it loud enough for your demons to hear. I know who you are. I know how you crawl. And I swear on the ashes of my excuses, I'm coming for blood. The war is inside you, and you're the only one who can end it. Obsession is the cure, not the disease. Balance is for the healed. You're still bleeding, and you're out here being told to calm down, slow down, breathe, relax. The hell you mean relax? Your life is a burning wreck. Your bank account's on life support, your soul's in shreds, and your dreams are buried under 10 years of excuses. And they want balance? No. What you need is obsession. Obsession is the only cure when the disease is mediocrity, when the cancer is comfort, when the infection is doubt, when your identity is buried under years of pretending you were okay. You don't sip tea and do yoga, you ignite. Let's get it straight. The world told you obsession was dangerous. They said, don't get too carried away. They said, that's unhealthy. They said, you need to enjoy your life. But they were born soft. You were born for war. You're not here to blend in. You're not here to coast through some average existence, smiling politely while your potential dies screaming behind your ribs. You're not here to balance. You're here to burn. You're here to go too far. You're here to rip the brakes out of the machine and crash through everything you thought was holding you back. Because there is no going back. Obsession is what digs you out. It's what silences the voices at 3 a.m. that say you're still nothing. It's what forces your hands to keep building when your heart's already shattered. It's what keeps your feet moving when your past grabs your ankles and begs you to lie down and die. Obsession is the cure, because you're not trying to heal into the old version of you. You're trying to resurrect something the world never saw coming. People think obsession is the problem. But obsession is the beginning of clarity. Obsession is when you stop lying, when you admit, I want this so bad it scares me, when you finally face yourself in the mirror and say, I'm not okay living like this. And instead of medicating it, numbing it, rationalizing it, you build with it. You think obsession is unhealthy? Try regret. Try waking up 20 years from now knowing you never gave it everything. Try explaining to your kids why you settled. Try standing over your own grave, knowing you had more, but you chose safe. Balance is for men who've already rebuilt. You're still bleeding out in the wreckage. So don't talk to me about too intense. You want to be reborn? You better get insane about it. You better become obsessed with waking up before the doubt. Obsessed with training while your mind says quit. Obsessed with every rep, every dollar, every book, every second, because you're not fighting for fun. You're fighting for your life. And make no mistake, the world fears obsessed men because obsessed men don't play by the rules. They don't ask permission. They don't care about comfort, opinion, trends, or applause. They don't blend. They detonate. The world burns slower when obsessed men rise. That's why they call us too much, too focused, too intense, too committed. But that's what it takes, to take a dead dream and resurrect it, to take a broken man and rebuild him in fire. You think you can climb out of hell half-interested? You think discipline comes from comfort? You think you're going to rewrite your story with a little motivation and a few deep breaths? No. You go to war with your excuses. You declare death on your distractions. You bleed, sacrifice, and obsess until obsession becomes your identity, until people stop recognizing you, until you look in the mirror and say, "This is the savage I was always meant to be." The men who change the world? Obsessed. The men who rebuild legacies from ash? Obsessed. The men who bury the past with their own hands and walk out of the grave they were thrown into? Obsessed. And here you are, still apologizing for wanting more, still trying to fit in, still softening your edges so people don't call you crazy. Let them call you crazy. You should be crazy, because sanity got you this pain. Balance gave you this mediocrity. Normal kept you dying in silence. You want resurrection. You want to come back from the dead and build a life so powerful it terrifies your old self. Then you don't need peace. You need fire. You don't need therapy. You need rage. You don't need balance. You need to become so obsessed with your redemption that everything else dies screaming in your wake. This is not a season. This is not a phase. This is who you are now. Say it to yourself. I'm obsessed with rebuilding, with redemption, with proving that every second of pain was not wasted, with becoming something so unrecognizable, even your demons can't find you anymore. Obsession isn't the disease. It's the cure. So stop waiting to be healed. Start becoming the fire that does the healing. Burn everything that told you to play small. Set fire to the doubt, the lies, the balance they preached, and build yourself in the heat of your own obsession. Because this time, it's you versus you, and only one version walks out alive. Train in the dark so no one can touch you in the light. You train in the dark because you know what's coming. You train when no one's watching because you've already lived through the pain of being unprepared. You felt what it's like to show up soft, to get caught with your guard down, to look life in the eye and fold like paper. Never again. You don't need cameras. You don't need followers. You don't need motivation. You need to be ready for the attack that always comes when you think it won't. For the days that rip through your soul and dare you to quit. For the old demons that crawl back when the world gets quiet. You train for the war no one sees because you see it. You've seen what weakness costs. You've seen what happens when you bet on hope instead of discipline. You've seen the graveyards full of men who waited for the sun to rise before they built their fire. But you learned how to build fire in the dark, with bleeding hands, with frozen lungs, with every excuse clawing at your ankles. That's what they do. I don't understand about you. They think you're intense, over the top, too much. But they didn't see the mornings you couldn't get out of bed. They didn't see the weeks you went silent because your soul was screaming. They didn't see you sitting in your car for 40 minutes fighting for one reason not to end it all. You don't train for aesthetics. You don't train for praise. You train because your mind is a battlefield, and if you don't sharpen your weapons daily, you won't make it through the night. This is daily war. This is discipline that digs deeper than motivation. This is ritual born out of desperation. Every rep is a resurrection. Every mile is a confrontation with the old you. Every cold shower, every fast, every early wake-up is your way of saying, I'm not done yet. And don't get it twisted. This isn't about being better than anyone else. It's about being better than the man you used to be, because he almost killed you. You know what I'm talking about. The version of you that chose the easy way, the one that blamed the world, the one that drank himself to sleep and called it healing, the one that lied to everyone, including himself. He's still in there whispering, still trying to convince you that you've earned rest. But you don't rest yet, because the work ain't done. The fire ain't hot enough. The pain ain't purified you yet. You train in the dark because it's the only way to walk into the light untouchable. See, people think success is about confidence, but real power is being forged in silence. When your bank account's bleeding, when your body's broken, when your soul feels like it's dying in slow motion. That's when you build the armor. That's when you stack the bricks of self-respect. That's when you find out who the hell you really are. Because anybody can shine in front of a crowd. Anybody can fake it when the sun's out. But only warriors build thrones in the days. Only savages keep going when there's nothing left but their word and their will. This is you versus you, every single day. Nobody's coming to save you. No one's going to pull you out of the hole. You either claw your way out or die in it. So train every day, every second, every breath, not for applause, not for status, but because the enemy never sleeps, and neither do you. Because the pain doesn't care about your goals. Because the world will come for your peace, your family, your freedom. And if you ain't forged in fire, it will break you without mercy. You think this is about fitness? You think this is about waking up early and eating clean? Nah, this is about war. This is about the war you fight in your head when you hear that voice, the one that says you're still nothing. You train in silence, so when that voice returns, you're louder. You train in silence, so when death knocks, you answer with fire in your eyes. You train in silence because you've lived loud, and it damn near killed you. Now you build in the shadows. Now you forge in isolation. Now you bleed behind closed doors so you can reign in the open. Because when that moment comes, and it will, when the storm hits and the weak fold, they'll look to you and you'll stand, unshaken, unbreakable. Because you didn't wait for sunlight. You became the fire. Pain is your compass now. If it hurts, you're headed the right way. You feel that sting? That twisting, silent ache in your chest? That's the sound of your compass screaming, keep going. That's the map now. That's the voice you were never taught to trust. Because in this life, the real life, pain doesn't mean stop. It means go. It means wake the hell up. It means you're no longer living in the lies they sold you. Every step you took trying to avoid pain was a step toward weakness. You didn't get soft by accident. You bought into comfort. You were tricked. Fed the lie that healing means ease, that growth should feel good, that the right path would feel warm and validating. But look at where that path led you, smiling in public, dying in private, trying to fake peace while rotting from the inside out. Let me make it clear for you. Pain is the doorway. Pain is the key. Pain is your goddamn compass now. And if you're not hurting, you're not healing. You want to know why you keep circling the same darkness year after year? Because every time pain shows up, you flinch. Every time discomfort knocks, you lock the door. You never answered it. You thought it was punishment. You thought pain meant you were broken. Nah, pain meant you were finally on the right road. You were just too weak to keep walking. You're not lost. You're scared. And there's a big difference. Being lost means you have no direction. Being scared means you're staring at the truth, but you don't want to walk into it. Well, guess what? No one's coming to carry you. Not now. Not ever. You walk into the fire, or you die cold. Listen to me. If it hurts, you're doing it right. Because growth doesn't come in meditation rooms and retreats and easy Sundays. It comes in the dark at 3 a.m. when your mind is collapsing, your bank account is empty, your relationships are bleeding, and your knees are shaking. That's where rebirth starts. Not on the mountaintop, but in the fucking dirt. You want to find your identity? You want to build discipline? You want to know who the hell you really are? Then stop running from the pain and start running with it. Let it lead. That fire in your chest, that's the alarm clock. That tension in your gut, that's the new GPS. That voice in your head that says, I can't do this anymore. That's the old you begging for a funeral. And you better bury him deep, because if you don't, he will come back. He will. The whisper sweet lies. He'll tell you you've earned comfort. He'll say, you've done enough today. He'll sell you validation like it's peace. But you didn't come this far to feel good. You came to feel alive, and aliveness starts in agony. You think I'm talking theory? I'm talking war. I'm talking about waking up with no blueprint, no help, no backup plan, just grit, just guts, just pure goddamn willingness to walk straight into hell and smile. Because when you stop fearing pain, the whole world opens up. You stop chasing results and start chasing resistance. You stop needing approval and start respecting yourself. You stop trying to escape the storm and start becoming it. Let it burn. Let it tear you open. Let it show you what you're made of. The most dangerous man alive isn't the strongest. It's the one who can sit in pain longer than anyone else. The one who doesn't break when the suffering arrives. He rises. You've been running from your own fire. But that flame isn't your enemy. It's your crown. It's the badge of the unfinished warrior. The map to the version of you that no one can touch. And it doesn't come easy. It comes through frostbite, breakdowns, lost sleep, and 10,000 quiet battles no one will ever clap for. So you want to live? Then bleed. Suffer. Lean into the agony until it becomes your strength, until it becomes your home. You don't need a miracle. You need misery that teaches. You need discipline that bites. You need pain that points, because that's what the old you fears most. And that's exactly where the new you is forged. Don't look for ease. Look for the edge. Look for the place that burns the loudest. And when you find it, don't turn back. That's the way forward. That's the way out. That's the only way. If it hurts, you're headed the right way. If it burns, you're becoming the fire. If it breaks, good. Now rebuild stronger, because pain is your compass now. Every morning is not a sunrise, it's an execution. You don't wake up, you rise from the fire. And before the sun even thinks about showing its face, you look in the mirror, you lock eyes with the coward that almost made it to today, and you burn him alive. No hesitation, no ceremony, no mercy. You kill the version that failed yesterday, because if you don't, he'll get comfortable. He'll start whispering again. He'll start telling you that rest is earned, that taking it slow is balance, that maybe you've done enough. Enough is death. You weren't born to maintain. You were born to murder mediocrity with your morning routine. You think this is a game? Every time you choose comfort, you resurrect the weakest version of you. You give him power. You give him a voice. And pretty soon you're back where you swore you'd never be, numbing yourself, playing victim, sitting in silence while the world eats your purpose alive. No. Not today. Today is another funeral. You are the priest, you are the executioner, and you are the fire. Let it burn. Let the comfort burn. Let the laziness burn. Let that soft, scared, excuse-ridden version of you scream while you burn him at the stake. Because this isn't about becoming someone new. It's about killing who you never were. That image you played for years, the one who smiled while breaking inside, the one who said, "I'm trying," but was rotting in silence, he was a lie. He was a lie. And every time you skip the pain, every time you avoid the war, you bring that lie back to life. You think rebirth is this beautiful spiritual awakening? No, it's brutal, it's violent, it's ritualistic. It's done with blood, sweat, and fire. It's done when you pick discipline over excuses so consistently that you no longer recognize the person who used to quit. This isn't growth. This is arson. And you are the match. You are the flame that eats the past. You are the blaze that leaves no room for who you used to be. You want change? Then you better learn how to hate your old self. You better develop disgust for the comfort you once craved. Because the truth, comfort didn't save you. Comfort almost killed you. It was the warm blanket over your coffin, and now you get it. Now you see it clearly. Comfort is the cage. Discipline is the Molotov cocktail. Throw it. Watch it explode. And don't you dare look back at the ashes like they were ever home. That version of you was not sick. He was dead. And you kept trying to resuscitate him with motivation. You kept feeding him podcasts and promises. But that old you didn't need a second chance. He needed a funeral. So burn him again tomorrow, and the day after that, and every damn day until your bones know the ritual by heart. Wake up, kill the coward, bury the excuse, ignite the fire, walk through it like a soldier. Because the battlefield is inside you. It's you. It's always been you versus you. No savior is coming. No breakthrough is owed. This is a self-execution, daily, violent, necessary. And if you miss a day, if you let him breathe again, he will come back stronger. He will whisper softer. He will convince you that peace means avoiding the pain. But peace is war mastered. Peace is knowing the flames and walking in anyway. Peace is knowing you are the fire, not the man it burns. So look at yourself. Really look. That reflection, that's not who you are. That's just who's left when the fire dies down. And if he looks too familiar, you didn't burn deep enough. Go back, light it again, torch the past, kill the weakness, and walk out of the smoke reborn. Because this isn't some motivational fairy tale. This is war, and you better get religious about your destruction. Burn the old you to ashes, daily, because the fire never lies, and the pain always tells the truth. Who the hell do you think you are? Your life screams average. Your soul, it begs for war. You keep walking through this world like it owes you something. But here's the truth, raw and unfiltered. Nobody gives a damn who you think you are until you become it. You want to be respected? Then earn it in the dark. You want to be seen? Then show up when no one else can. Look at your habits. Look at your routine. Look at your excuses. Now ask yourself the only question that matters. Who the hell do you think you are? Because the version of you that the world sees, that ain't the warrior your soul was meant to be. That's the watered-down, emotionally neutered, mentally soft version of you, the one that's been coddled by comfort, babysat by weakness, and rocked to sleep by excuses. You walk past the mirror every day, but you don't even look. You don't stop. You don't face the thing that's been killing you for years. Because the truth lives there, and the truth hurts. But the mirror doesn't lie. You do. You lie to yourself every time you hit snooze. You lie every time you say tomorrow. You lie every time you say, I'm trying, when you know you're not. You're not trying, you're avoiding. You're hiding. You're ducking the war that was built for you. You're either a savage in the making or a victim in denial. Which one are you? Because I know what a warrior looks like. He bleeds in silence. He breaks in private. He shows up anyway. He doesn't need a crowd. He's already in a war with the shadow that whispers, you'll never be enough. And he answers it with action, with fire, with discipline that makes hell look like a spa. But you've been negotiating with your old self. You've been talking to the coward like he's still in charge. You've been playing nice with the voice that's been holding you back since day one. Let me tell you something brutal and true. Identity isn't given, it's taken. It's forged in fire. It's earned in the reps no one sees, in the tears you don't post, in the fucking silence between who you are and who you swore you'd become. Stop telling people what you're about to do. Do it. Bleed for it. Starve for it. Be willing to break for it. You want to know why you keep sabotaging your life? Because deep down, you're still loyal to the weak version of you. You still believe that comfort is love, that balance is healthy, that suffering is avoidable. That's a lie. Balance is the enemy of greatness. Comfort is the coffin of your potential. And suffering is the gate. You want to rise? Then suffer louder than you speak. You keep wondering why nothing changes. But change isn't a decision, it's a funeral. You've got to bury the old you. And not with tears, but with brutal, surgical, merciless execution. There's no more time for pep talks. There's no more time for pity. There's no more time for the soft voice that says, take it easy today. You deserve rest. No, you deserve war. You deserve the version of you that wakes up at 3 a.m. not to scroll, but to train, not to whine, but to build, not to cry, but to fucking dominate the day. Because here's the final truth. You are what you do in private, not what you say in public, not what you post, not what you hope. You are the pain you're willing to carry, the standard you refuse to drop, the discipline you don't let die, even when no one claps for it. So again, I ask you, who the hell do you think you are? Because your old self thinks you're weak, your enemies think you're done, your habits think they've won. But your future, that motherfucker is watching, waiting to see if you're the kind of man who shows up after betrayal, after heartbreak, after failure, after being forgotten. To see if you're built for the kind of life that demands a soul made of steel and a mind made of scars. So look in the mirror. Don't blink, don't flinch, don't look away. Stand there, naked, broken, bleeding, and become. Because until you look yourself in the eye and say, I am the motherfucker who will never quit, never beg, never lower my standard, even if it kills me, then you are still playing dress up, still pretending, still average, still soft. But if you can say that, if you can become that, then congratulations. You finally earned the right to answer the question, who the hell do you think you are? I am war. The silence you fear is your training ground. Silence isn't peace, it's preparation. You keep begging for noise to drown it out. You want music, movement, chaos, anything but the stillness that exposes the voice inside you. But the silence? That's the battlefield. That's the gym without walls. That's where the war begins and ends. That's where your demons don't hide. They wait. Because when the world turns off, your shadow shows its face. And most of you, you've never faced it. You've never stood still long enough to meet the bastard whispering in the dark. You know what happens in silence? Your excuses echo louder. Your fake identities crack like glass. The mask you wear at work, the one you wear in front of your family, all that shit falls off when it's just you and the four walls and that clock that won't stop ticking. The silence you run from is the training ground you need. The grind, that's not just sets and reps. It's waking up to that voice again, that voice that won't shut up. It's lifting while it mocks you, running while it reminds you that you failed last year, eating clean while it taunts you with comfort, training alone while it whispers, you'll always be alone. This is where men get made. Not in the stadium, not on stage, but in the silence between reps, in the space between the pain and the next breath, in the dead zone where your shadow starts to laugh and you don't back down. Because when there's no one left to impress, no one clapping, no one cheering, no applause, no validation, no fucking trophy, just silence. That's when it becomes real. Are you ready to train in that silence? You want to be dangerous? You want to be untouchable? Then build it in the quiet. When the distractions die, discipline wakes up. When the noise ends, truth speaks. And it doesn't sound like comfort, it sounds like confrontation. You're still fat. You're still weak. You still haven't done shit. You still live like a man who's scared of himself. That voice doesn't lie. That voice is you, raw, exposed, unedited. But that voice, that's your trainer. That's the one telling you what no one else has the balls to say. When you're in the gym alone, when you're running at 4 a.m. and the sky's still black, when you're pushing the last rep and your lungs are screaming, that's when it shows up. The real voice, the one that doesn't care about your excuses, the one that demands your greatness or devours your soul, the one that says, train harder or die ordinary. Stop fearing the silence. Start answering it. Because when you're finally quiet, you can hear the war and you can pick up your fucking weapon. This silence, this isolation, it's not punishment. It's your proving ground. It's the crucible where cowards get exposed and savages get built. It's where the weak quit quietly and the strong rise violently. You think you're lonely? That's the cost of power. You think you're in the dark? That's the birthplace of fire. You think no one sees your grind? Good, they're not supposed to, because warriors aren't made in the spotlight. They're forged where no one claps. In the gym, alone, in your room, staring at the mirror, on your knees, praying with broken hands, in your journal, writing through the tears, at rock bottom, choosing to climb without applause. That's silence, and that's where you find out who the fuck you really are. You either let the quiet kill you, or you become the killer it was meant to shape. You either become addicted to noise, or you become obsessed with clarity. This world sells chaos to weak minds, but a focused man, a disciplined man, a silent, dangerous man, he's unbreakable because he's already fought the loudest war, the one inside. So here's your wake-up call. If you can't train in silence, you'll never survive the war in the noise. If you can't sit with yourself without escaping, you'll never lead anyone, not even your own damn life. You don't need more music. You don't need another motivational clip. You don't need external hype. You need the silence, because in the silence, you learn to speak with your scars. You learn to listen to your discipline. You learn to walk with your pain and command it like a weapon. You learn to own your name again. Every rep in silence. Every tear in silence, every early morning no one sees. That's your resume. That's your legacy. That's your rebirth. You keep fearing the silence ends? Then you'll keep living a life someone else controls. But if you face it, if you own it, if you bleed into it and let it sharpen you, you'll walk out of that silence like a fucking monster. You won't need to speak. Your discipline will scream for you. Let the silence mold you. Let the loneliness teach you. Let the emptiness become your edge. Because the world doesn't reward the man who talks the loudest. It rewards the one who trained the longest without being seen, the one who burned in the dark, the one who didn't quit when it got quiet. So the next time it's silent, don't run, don't scroll, don't hide. Stand up, stare at that mirror, and tell the voice, I'm still here and I'm not done. That's the war. And if you can survive that, you can survive anything. The discipline that doesn't flinch. Discipline isn't sexy. It's savage. It's the scar you choose every day. It's not a highlight reel. It's not the pumped up moment with music blasting. It's the silence before dawn when your body says no and your soul says do it anyway. This ain't about hype. This ain't about motivation. Motivation's a sugar rush. This is blood. Discipline is the contract you sign with yourself, in pain, in poverty, in silence, and still say, I will not flinch. Every single morning you get up before your alarm. That's not glory, that's war. It's not a new chapter. It's the same damn page burned over and over until the world knows you bleed routine. You think warriors wait for energy? You think wolves wait for the sun to rise? No. They move through the cold, the hunger, the dark, because routine is armor. Obsession is the only language the battlefield understands. You don't rise, you repeat. You don't shine, you suffer. You kill the comfort. You bury the mood swings. You build the machine. It worships your scars. Look at your life. Really look. Everything you're proud of came from pain, not passion. Pain. The early mornings, the lonely meals, the ignored messages, the cold showers, the silent rage, the moments you didn't cry, you clenched, the hours you didn't shine, you showed up. That's discipline, not a flex, not a post, not a quote, but a scar you earned, a scar you chose, a scar you wear with honor. So when the voice inside starts whispering, take a break, skip it today, sleep in just this once. You don't argue, you don't debate, you execute. Because execution is your only language now. Talking is for tourists. Action is for assassins. And you're not here for vacation. You're here to make war with the version of you that used to quit. So burn the journal. Kill the goal board. Forget the vision. Be the repetition. Be the blood. Be the bite. Be the scar. Be the damn ghost that haunts laziness until it kills itself. The world doesn't need another hype man. It needs someone who doesn't flinch when it's cold, when it's late, when it hurts, when no one's clapping. It needs you, scarred, obsessed, unshakable, unapologetic, unstoppable. Because discipline, real discipline, doesn't flinch, it finishes. This is your funeral or your F-King fight. Keep living like this and your dream dies with you. You want the truth? You're already dying. Every day you live without purpose, without pain, without war. You are digging your own grave with a spoon called comfort. This isn't life. This is slow-motion suicide. This is your funeral in disguise. You're attending it in sweatpants, eating junk food, scrolling, distracting, smiling while your soul rots beneath your skin. You don't need a coffin. You already buried your fire under excuses, under I'm tired, under maybe tomorrow. Your dream didn't die. You smothered it in routine. You wrapped it in soft lies and tucked it in every night while the warrior inside you screamed for resurrection. Wake the FK up. You think the world is cruel? Try looking in the mirror at 2 a.m. when your potential is decomposing behind your eyes. Try watching your reflection blink back at you with nothing but regret and fake peace. That's your ghost already looking back at you. You've become your own pallbearer, carrying the weight of your unlived life on your back. And here's the worst part. No one's coming. Nobody's coming to pull you out of that casket. No motivational speech, no second wind, no right moment. Because this is the right moment. This is the part in the movie where the music stops and the monster wakes up. This is the moment where you either rise or you die with your dreams still inside you. Most men, they walk around like they're alive, but they've already tapped out. They surrendered their hunger. They negotiated with mediocrity. They made peace with being forgotten. But not you, not anymore. Because I see the twitch. I see the fire trying to crawl back into your chest. I see the pain turning into rage. I see the excuses starting to taste like blood. That's how it starts. The rebirth doesn't begin in triumph. It begins in disgust. Disgust at how low you've fallen. Disgust at the silence you mistook for peace. Disgust at the fake smiles, the half-finished plans, the mental graveyard you call a life. You are either dying or you're getting effing dangerous. You choose. But make no mistake, the clock is not your friend. It's the executioner. And every hour you waste is a blade closer to your neck. You either move now or you get buried by your own hesitation. This ain't a script for the masses. This is a letter to your shadow, the part of you that never stopped watching. Niche. Verse stopped screaming. The version of you that's chained to your comfort, begging to be unshackled. I'm talking to the animal you locked away, the killer instinct you tamed with nice routines and soft goals. Let him the FK out, Because this is not a life. This is a eulogy in progress. This is your obituary being written by your fears. This is your legacy getting pissed away in quiet mediocrity. So what's it gonna be? You either dig yourself out with your teeth, with your blood, with your scars, or you keep laying flowers on the grave of the man you were born to become. You've been to enough funerals. Don't let your name be on the next one. Because this moment right now, this breath, this beat in your chest, this is the resurrection scene, the comeback, the roar, the transformation. And it starts when you stop asking how you feel and start deciding what the FK you're going to become. You want the life? Then die to your old one. Burn the eulogy. Rip the nameplate off that tombstone. Dig up the grave with your bare hands and drag your fucking future out of it. This is not the end. This is the beginning of your war. And you either fight like it's your last chance to live or die like a coward in your comfort zone. Pick one, because this ain't motivation. This is survival. You don't need a plan. You need a code. You keep searching for the perfect plan, the clean, sanitized blueprint to heaven that's going to get you out of this mess. But life doesn't respect plans. Pain doesn't care about calendars. The storm doesn't read your fucking checklist. Plans fold, but a code? A code outlives chaos. A code is what you bleed into the earth and tattoo into your soul. You're not losing because you're weak. You're losing because you keep rewriting your story every time it rains. You shift, you flinch, you fold, and then you wonder why nothing holds. Let me wake your ass up real quick. You don't need another 90-day success plan. You don't need a new journal. You don't need another YouTube strategy video telling you how to optimize your fucking morning. You need a code, a savage, no option, zero compromise code, a war ethic so brutal it burns the blueprint, a discipline so deep it survives your breakdowns. Because here's the truth, plans are soft, plans are written in pencil, plans change when the wind shifts. But a code is carved in your scars. A code is built when your eyes are swollen shut and you still get up to run. A code is written when the mirror laughs at you and you don't blink. You've been living like comfort is strategy. You've been praying that life makes room for your ambition. You've been hoping that the world will slow down and hand you a moment of peace. It won't. Peace is not a fucking plan. Peace is the aftermath of war, and you earn it in blood. Your fallback plan is why you're still on your back. Your backup strategy is your permission slip to quit. Your maybe is your suicide note. Burn the exit map. Rip up the instructions. All that remains is this. Train, rise, bleed, repeat. That's the code. No applause, no schedule, no motivational playlist. Just a quiet war behind your eyes every day without fail. You think you're not good enough? Good. Then sharpen yourself on that. You think you're too late? Beautiful. Let it push you harder. You think no one believes in you? Perfect. Then obey the one voice inside you that never shut up. The one that screams when you try to sleep. That voice doesn't give you steps. It gives you law. And law don't bend. You want to change your life? Then fuck your goals. And make your standards holy. Carve your commandments into the floor. Make failure blasphemy. Make quitting a crime. You don't rise by logic, you rise by obedience. To the inner warrior who doesn't need a map, just a battlefield, you wake. Up. You do the damn work. You stay silent. You stack the scars. And when it all falls apart, you smile. Because your code didn't change. Everyone wants a flexible plan, but the dangerous ones, the savage ones, the ones who bury their excuses and rise from the smoke, they don't have flexibility, they have honor. This is your fire test. This is your line in the sand. Draw it. Spit on your fear. And walk through your own war. Not with a plan, but with a fucking code. This is the year you build or you break forever. This isn't a resolution, it's a resurrection. You don't get to whisper dreams anymore. You don't get to hope your way into becoming someone. Because this is the year you either put it all on the line or you vanish like every other coward who swore they'd change. You hear that sound? That's time breaking your door in. That's the voice in the mirror screaming, "Get up or die like this." You thought you had time. You thought the pain was just a phase. But this is the reckoning, motherfucker. This is the calendar screaming at your soul. And if you don't feel it, you're already gone. This year will tattoo itself into your spirit, one way or another, in scars or in steel. You will either wake up and start building with blood-soaked hands, or you will drown in the silence of another wasted year, another graveyard of excuses. The man you become this year, he's either your liberator or your goddamn executioner. And don't you dare act surprised. You've had enough signs, enough breakdowns, enough nights staring at your ceiling, wondering if your story ever mattered, wondering if your life had any fight left in it. Well, here's the truth. Nobody is coming. No more mentors, no more handouts, no more luck, no more timing. You are the storm now. And you either build the monster that carries you through hell, or you get eaten alive by your own potential. You want to know why this year matters more than all the others? Because now the pain has matured. It's no longer.
You're allowed. It's surgical. It knows where you're weak. It knows how to whisper. It'll say, skip today. You'll start Monday. You're tired. You've earned a break. But every time you listen to that voice, you're putting a bullet in your future. Look in the mirror right now. Strip the mask. Forget the bullshit persona. What's staring back at you? A builder or a broken promise? Because the truth is, if you don't go all in this year, you never will. And you know it. If you don't sacrifice comfort now, you'll be buried in it later, crushed by every lazy morning, every skipped rep, every lie you told yourself about why next week was going to be different. This is your soul on trial. The fire is here, and it's not asking for your plans, it's asking for your sacrifice. Burn the calendar, burn the checklist, burn the excuses. This isn't about what you're going to do. It's about what you've already failed to do, and whether you've got the guts to face that. There's no more training, no more preparation. It's war now. Every day is a knife fight with the old you. You versus you. You want peace? Build the man that can earn it. You want legacy? Die to your weakness and rise in the fire. Because this isn't some cute new year, new me fairy tale. This is blood. This is grind. This is punishment and rebirth in the same breath. You've got a chance to build something this year that the world can't destroy. A mind that doesn't fold. A body that doesn't quit. A soul that doesn't need applause to stay on fire. But that only happens when you stop negotiating, when you stop dipping your toe in the life you say you want and throw your entire being into it like it's your only shot at redemption. Because it is. You either become the weapon this year, or you'll be buried by the one you never became. So stop saying you're ready. Stop screaming, I want it. If you're not willing to bleed for it, this is it. This is the year you build, or you break forever.